Hey, what's up, everybody? It's time for another face-to-face session number 2, and we're on location today in a classroom because we're waiting for a class to start. But in our last class, we were having a interesting conversation, and this interesting conversation was with a member of my cohort, the only other. It's Amanda. Hey, say hey, Amanda.
Howdy-ho.
She's going to be in the picture from now on. Stop leaning out of the picture. You got to stay in it. And so in our last class, something very interesting was brought up, and it's that as couples who are married live together for a while, they start looking more and more alike, and they kind of start taking on physical attributes of each other. And I leaned over to Amanda and I said, I know why that is, and it's a hypothesis of mine. And so, Amanda, why don't you share with us what that hypothesis was?
Hypothesis number 1
It works the other way. When you lean right, it goes left.
is Kyle believes that the reason that we start to look more alike is because of the exchange of genetic material.
Okay, let me explain this to you.
Use your imagination.
Whenever you have a sexual relationship... Hello! This is Dr. Dawn.
Oh my! What do we got going, man?
We'll start. We'll resume this later. And we're back. Okay, so it's the afternoon now. That's why the sun is right here, and it's really hot. It's just Amanda's spotlight. Okay, so Amanda, go on about my theory about what we were talking. Oh, we don't need to remind you. You saw it 30 seconds ago. It was like 4 hours ago for us. So anyway, go on.
Kyle thinks that we start to look more alike when we're in a relationship with someone for a long time because of the exchange of genetic material.
Exchange of genetic material. Tell us more about that.
Well, it's your theory, so I think maybe you should tell us more about that.
I know, but I'll blush because it's kind of awkward.
Okay, well, typically when you've been married for a long period of time or in a relationship for a long period of time, you engage in sexual intimacies, and during this time there's generally some exchange of genetic material through different bodily fluids, I suppose.
So let me tell you where this is coming from. I actually believe, contrary to the belief of most scientists, that people can alter their genetics. And the reason I think this is things like, well, I don't have any wisdom teeth. Well, the reason I think that came about is because we've been taking our wisdom teeth out for so long that our bodies are like, wow, you must not need those wisdom teeth. And so your body stops producing them. That's what I think. So I think our genetics get altered as our life, maybe it's not genetics, but something is being altered. I like how there's a delay between how I move my hands and it shows up later. Okay, but anyway, so what's happening is this genetic material is going into your body, and your cells are like, wow, I'm being bombarded with all this genetic material, and it gets confused with its own genetic material, and so they start reproducing, and so your body takes on those genes, and so that might mean, your earlobes start dangling when you did have attached to your lobes, and you start looking more like your partner. What do you think about that, Amanda?
I think that's pretty good in theory.
In theory.
I mean, I don't really know anything about biology, so I don't know if that's actually a possibility.
I'd like to know what you think about it, though.
What about, like, when you get a blood transfusion, do you, take on some of the genetic qualities of the person that you got the blood transfusion from?
That's interesting. Well, let's think about this. When you get a blood transfusion, it's one time, and even if it's a lot of blood, it's only, how much blood do you give at a time? 2 pints? Something like that?
Well, maybe.
A pint? 2 pints? Well, even if you get all 8 liters of blood, I think is what you have in your body, even if you get all that replaced, that's from like 25 different people, because that's how much it would cost, or that's how many people. So you're getting a lot of genetic material. Now, if you got a blood transfusion from someone else's blood every day for like several years, actually that's a good experiment. You know anyone that needs that much blood?
I don't think so.
Maybe good.
Maybe dialysis stuff.
Ooh,
But that's not exactly the same, I don't think.
that's good. Well, I think this is almost the end. So anyway, I'd like to know what you think about this.
Food
Okay.
for thought.
Food for thought. And on that note, we've been in class a long time, so let's go eat, huh?
Okie dokie.
Okay, bye.